Hey, what's up, guys? So, in this video, I'm going to talk to you about my last experience, most recent experience in county jail, and one of the aspects of it that was different than what I had experienced in the past, and that is how often they did shakedowns. Shakedowns, for those that are not familiar with the terminology, are a controlled exercise when the administration come together and basically do a like surprise attack on a particular unit and search everything. So they come in very quickly, unexpectedly, usually when you're sleeping or during a downtime, and they take everybody out immediately and they put them in one room together. In this case, it was like in a little not an outdoor, but like a segregated rec area. They put us all in there, and a bunch of officers would come in and go cell to cell and just tear shit up. In this jail, usually they would do like 5 cells at a time. So they pick one block of one part of one tier, first or second floor, and they focus on those cells. But sometimes they'd come in with the big guns, with a lot of people, even the SWAT team guys, and they'd tear the whole entire unit apart. So in this place, they were doing this like twice a week, sometimes even more, but usually around once or twice a week at minimum. And one of the crazy things about it was this had never happened to me in the past, but for some reason there was a targeted shakedown on me and my cellmate. So I got different pieces of information from different people about this, so I don't know what really happened. One officer said to my cellmate that someone called from the outside. There's like a hotline you can call, and said that we had CDS, controlled dangerous substance, narcotics, in our room. Another person said that someone dropped a slip and said that I had a shank, I had a big knife, jail-made knife in the cell. Other dumb things I've heard was, that I was bullying my cellmate, and they wanted to see what was going on, so they came and shook down the room, which is nonsense. My cellmate and I were very, very close. We still are, and that wasn't realistic. But whatever the reason was, they came into the unit one day, and this was unbelievable luck on our part, because we are always aware when we're in our cell. One of us is always looking out. We have a small opening, a slit where you can look out the door and you can see what's going on in the unit. One of us is always looking out, so we know from the second that unit door popped, we saw them coming in, and we had like a 2-second window before they came into the room. They came right for our room. In this case, they threw us against the wall. Each of us separated us, and one by one put us in the cell, strip searched completely. I mean, thorough search. Through your hair, open your mouth, lift up your shoes, turn around, bend over, cough, squat, the whole nine. And they handcuffed us, and they took us out. And they didn't do anything else to anyone else. So they took us to a different part of the building, of the jail, intake, and they separated us, and they put me in what's called a dry cell. So a dry cell is a solitary cell where you're in there and basically just the water's turned off. So you have no water and you can't flush the toilet. And the point of that is for people who they suspect have ingested narcotics. Okay, so they're thinking, all right, you got to pass it. It's got to come out of you eventually. And that's why they have you in the dry cell. There are cameras watching you around the clock. So you're under complete observation. And that's how they end up catching you if you swallowed something. But that wasn't the case for me. They put me in there for a short time. They took me out and took me to this machine. When they first process you into the facility, they have an X-ray machine. So you stand on this machine, similar to the airport scanners, and you stand on the platform, and it just slides you through in between these 2 large walls, dividers, and those are the mechanisms that allow for the officers to see on a monitor basically everything, what you have inside of you. So it was so crazy because they did all of this targeting our cell. All right, so cell 31, and they found nothing. They found 0. All right, and they were so mad because they were so convinced that they were going to find something. Nothing on me, nothing on my bunkie. They did the same thing to him. And while this is happening, I'm thinking that, I'm going to go to lockup. Something's going to happen. I'm going to end up in a different unit and have to reacclimate somewhere else. But that didn't happen. I ended up going back to the same unit. They took some stuff out, extra mattresses, extra sheets, extra pillows. They took my weight bag. I have a laundry bag that I filled up with books that I worked out with. But the funny part was, within 1 hour, I had everything back that they took, including extra stuff. We had extra garbage cans, extra bins. So it was really a pointless effort. I never really found out what the real reason for that was, but that did happen, and I'm very, very lucky that nothing was found. There was no contraband that they were able to secure, and we moved on. There was another incident where, again, I was targeted. This is when I was with another cellmate, and I just moved into the corner cell. So there's one cell on each tier that's for handicap, but on the second story tier, there are no handicap people because the stairs. So that cell is usually for like trustees, for workers. It's the biggest cell. It's like almost double the size of a regular cell. And I managed to get myself put in there with someone who was a friend of mine from the jail. So that upset the administration that I was able to do that. And I lasted 24 hours, one night in that cell. And they came and shook us down, dragged us out. And this time they did the whole unit. But when we were all taken outside, they called me by my name to come back in alone. So I'm coming back in, all these guards around me, and they told me, I remember the one officer, one of the sergeants said to me, he said, in 16 years, I've never found more contraband in one shakedown than I just did in your two guys' cell. And I thought it was hysterical because the contraband they're talking about is not what you imagine. They're not drugs. They're not guns. They're not knives. The contraband they're talking about, I remembered, like, what are you guys talking about, man? You should be happy that we're not committing violence, that we're calm and we're peaceful in here. We're not causing no problems. The shit you found was what? Extra mattresses? We had 7 mattresses in the room. So yeah, it sounds bad, but who gives a fuck? We had 13 blankets. Who cares? We had 6, 7 pillows. So what? We had 5 bins. You're only supposed to have 1 each. So what? We had a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So we had... But they tore our room apart. I mean, it was unbelievable. They have no regard for anything of your personal belongings. They throw everything on the ground. They mix up all our commissary, but we eat together anyway, so it wasn't a problem. But they ended up separating me. They removed me from that room, and apparently I'm the only inmate that's not allowed to ever be in that room. I don't know what the fuck the problem is, but one of the officers told me that. He said, listen, Hollywood, I'm not supposed to tell you this, but I think it's because you're not visible from the cameras. That corner room has like a little blind spot. They want to see you. They want to monitor you. They want to have eyes on you at all times, and they don't want you having that big cell either way. They don't want you, getting that off. So they were upset about that, and this was one of the more aggravating things about this experience was, just imagine at any time, shakedowns happen, these guys run in, they tear all your shit apart. Sometimes it's right after we get, new sheets. We get new sheets once a week. So you just made your bed up, basically, and they come in and tear the whole shit apart. Or right after commissary, you just organize your things. They come tear the whole shit apart, throw it all over the place. They would rip down whatever I put on the wall, anything that I wasn't supposed to have. But they never got anything. And the funny part was, in this jail, it's amazing to me that they put so much effort into these shakedowns, right? So much production into this whole thing, and I've never seen them get anything. They got one knife, one shank they got from someone I know, actually, and I know the reason why they got it. That's another story I'll tell you guys, but it had to do with these tablets that they have. So I mentioned in my last video something very different from old experience in jail to now, is that now they have tablets. And what people don't know, and I'll talk more about this in another video, is that the reason why those tablets exist is because they have access to those cameras. People could text message email others. They read every single thing you send or receive. They look at all the photos. But more importantly, they could turn the cameras on without notifying you, without having the power button or the power light indicator showing that the device is on. They could look at it. So you're not supposed to take these tablets into your cell. Some of us would, including myself, at certain times, and I'll tell you why in another video as well. But someone had taken the tablet in, and not knowing about that camera access that the guards have, so he set it down probably on his bunk or something in the cell, and he went and grabbed the shank from the stash spot. They saw it, and they came running in, and they took it. But aside from that, they got zero, literally zero. Nothing. So all this effort, all this drama and shit, just to take a couple extra pillows. For me, I always had extra mattresses. They're taking the extra mattresses. I get them right back, the same day every time. So it's just a bunch of bullshit, in my opinion, just to make your time a little harder and to harass people. But yeah, that was a pain in the ass, guys, dealing with it all the time. We always had to be on the lookout for it. And just one of the things you have to deal with in jail. One of the things you end up getting used to. But for those of you that never experienced it, it really sucks. Just imagine, we live in a room the size of a bathroom. And that's all our space. That's our world. And you have some people come in, drag you out, and then tear your shit apart. Throw all your shit all over the place. Destroy stuff, remove stuff. And you got to just go in there and clean it up. Keep your mouth shut. And repeat this process over and over and over so many times every month. I mean, it gets old real fast. But I guess the bottom line and point to this story, as all my stories about jail and prisons, I'm never glorifying this shit. I'm never acting like this shit is cool. The point of this is stay the fuck out of other people's jails and prisons. Trust me, guys. Please, let that be the point of every video I make talking about these type things. Please don't ever get it wrong and act like or think that I'm acting like this is something good, like this is a cool thing. This is a humiliation. It's an embarrassment that I've ever been in jail or prison, and I only share it with you guys because I've always been honest, and I want to be able to help. If there's any of you out there that's living a life that is putting you on a path that you may end up being incarcerated, please take my advice. Watch some of my older videos where I talk about these things. Jails, prisons, any type institutions, these places are fucking nightmares. They're not where you want to be. There's nothing cool about it, so don't get it fucked up. There's a lot of people on the internet who are convicts coming out, making videos, glamorizing it, glorifying it, acting like it's something cool on their resume, when the truth is, man, it's really not. Take it from me, please. Stay out of those places. Do what you got to do in life. Stay on the right track. Keep your freedom. Keep your friends, keep your family, and just do your best. Just do your best and avoid trouble in general. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll talk to you again next time. Thanks.